Hello and welcome back to Microbial Concepts. This is the second part of plant tissue culture basics video. Okay, so in first we had studied about what is plant tissue culture, what are the different types, is the important what are the important terms that you need to know, okay, and all that basics. Okay, so in this video we will be covering the basic protocol. Okay, what do you need to follow, what are the requirements, okay, for doing plant tissue culture, then how to handle your explants, then about inoculation and incubation, and even applications related to plant tissue culture. Okay, so let's start. Next is what are the requirements. Okay, so now we had seen some basics about plant tissue culture. Now we will go for working part. Okay, so if you're working, then what are the requirements? So major items include general glasswares, disposable plasticware, some chemicals that serves as mineral nutrients for media preparation, a supply of distilled water, highly deionized water, high quality deionized water, then pH meter, magnetic stirrer, weighing balance, autoclave, filter sterilization units, microwave, oven, refrigeration, freezer. Okay, then next is specialized equipment such as laminar airflow. Okay, it is very important because you need a sterile air workstation to handle aseptic explants, your media, and henceforth. Then incubation. Okay, so you will need some good arrangements, like you need some shells, trays, then lighting or light fitting. Okay, because you don't incubate cultures into incubators like your bacterial cultures. Okay, so for incubating your plant tissue cultures you need some special arrangements. Okay, then cultures may also be incubated in growth chambers or rotary shakers. Okay, some cultures you can go for growth chambers, and if you have a liquid cultures then you need a rotary shaker. For data recording and image capturing, you will need cameras, microscopes for photography attachments that will be required. Okay, so now preparation of tissue for culturing. Okay, so again, for example, we are working with explants. So what is explant? So part of plant that is excised and is to be used for culturing is known as explant. So the explant can be a shoot tip, which is apical meristem, or axillary bud, roots, petiole, or young tendril, light green tendrils. Okay, young tender light green tendrils. The selected explant have to be rendered aseptically, which often involves surface sterilization. Okay, so now you will have cuttings first. Now you need to do surface sterilization before proceeding. Okay, so what you can use, you can go with available chemicals or just a commercial bleach which has sodium hypochlorite, say 5.25% weight by volume, as the active ingredient, or other chemicals such as ethanol. Okay, you can rinse 1 to 5 minutes in 70% ethanol or silver nitrate solution. Okay, so this is about surface sterilization. After doing that, you again need to wash your samples, your explants, with autoclave distilled water in a sterile flask or a beaker. Okay, so everything that you are using here, all the glasswares, even your gloves, should be clean and sterile. Okay, so after doing surface sterilization, you rinse your samples with distilled water thoroughly. Okay, and then you keep those in another sterile container. Okay, so there are several simplified modified methods for surface sterilization where the explant donor tissue, such as seed pods or floral buds, if you are using seed pods or buds, they may be directly dipped into ethanol, and in some case they can be flamed briefly. Okay, so not all explant you can go with doing surface sterilization using sodium hypochlorite, right? So you can just dip those in ethanol, let the ethanol evaporate, or even you can go with brief flaming, right? The seeds and the uh, anthers are then excised aseptically for the culture from that bud. So with these procedure, the explant never comes in contact with the chemical, surface sterilizing agent and giving a better survival rate of the explant, right? So this method is useful for intact seed pod or orchids or anthers in unopened floral bud for several species. Next is nutrient medium. Okay, so we had already studied that MS medium is very widely used method. Okay, so these are some other examples. Other than MS, there is a Gambrook B5 medium also. Okay, even I came across with some VM or VW medium which contains coconut water. Okay, so there are many medias you will find when you go on doing literature reviews. Okay, the plant tissue culture media are made up of micro and macronutrients, vitamins, phytohormones, and other adjuvants, okay, such as coconut water, as well as sucrose is needed. Adjuvants such as ascorbic acid, polyvinyl pyrrolidine, and activated charcoal may be required for some species that show extreme cases of tissue browning, okay, on excision. So you may find that many a times it happens that after cutting, the tissue gets, or the color of tissue turns brown, okay, and secretion of polyphenolic substance from the damaged cell. To avoid that, you can use these adjuvants. Okay, the pH of medium is adjusted to 5.8 plus minus zero point 0.2, and using the pH is adjusted using dilute NaOH or NaCl, and a suitable gelling agent is added when a semi-solid matrix is desired. Okay, so in PCT you can go with liquid medium or semi-solid matrix. Okay, so here you need to uh, half your agar uh, amount. Okay, so if say you're working with agar for 100 ml, you use 2 grams, then to get semi solid you will use 1 gram. Okay, right? So for bacterial cultures, many a times 2 grams agar is used. Okay, so agar 8 to 10 grams per liter, and the gellan gum known as gelrite, it is used 2 to 3 grams per liter. So these are the most common gelling agents, right? Then the medium is sterilized by autoclaving for 20 minutes at 121 degrees Celsius, and care should be taken to fill the containers to no more than half the total volume for effective autoclaving, right? So you can do the autoclaving first and then dispense your culture media, or you can first dispense your culture media into respective tubes or flask or some plant tissue culture containers, and then you can autoclave that directly. Okay, that depends on you and your type of experiment. So when liquid nutrient medium is required, it may be similarly prepared, but you will not add the gelling agent, and then it can be sterilized or filter sterilized, okay, or autoclaved. Some heat labile components, if you are using, for example, some phytohormones like indole acetic acid or gibberellic acid or antibiotics, then you need to first filter sterilize those and then add to the autoclave medium when it cools. Okay, so this is a picture of a container which contains a plant tissue culture synthetic medium, and a explant is being inoculated. Okay, so just after inoculation you will see something like this. Now the environmental aspects of tissue culture. Okay, so environmental aspects in case of bacterial cultures is different, and in case of tissue cultures is different. Here you need a good headspace because you are growing a plant, correct? So plant needs the headspace for growing, okay, even for gaseous exchange. Okay, so one can use Erlenmeyer flask, culture tubes, petri plates, or specialized containers, cell cultures for extraction of metabolites, and they are generally established in bioreactor vessels or desired scales. Okay, so one of the major components in the headspace gas is ethylene, the gaseous phytohormone. Okay, so it can exert an influence on regeneration even after it is released from the explant tissue, right? So the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the headspace gas can also exert some influence on regeneration. The use of vented leads can be done here. Okay, so plastic film containers, vented plastic film containers, or incorporation of chemicals that act as inhibitors of ethylene action. Okay, so ethylene action, it may hamper the growth of your plants. Okay, so you can use some inhibitors like silver nitrate, silver thiosulfate into the culture medium, helping optimizing the regeneration. So once the explants are inoculated into culture medium under aseptic working conditions in laminar airflow, then they can be incubated at 25 degrees Celsius, okay, plus minus 2 degrees Celsius. So depending on the need of culture, incubation may be under a photo period with 12 to 26 hours of light or in darkness for a specific initial culture period, right? So as we are dealing with plants here, you need to provide them light. Okay, so incubation of cultures may be done on shelves fitted with lighting or in growth chambers. Yeah, growth chambers, to maintain the temperature. If you are working somewhere where maintaining temperature is very difficult, then you can go with growth chambers. Okay, so although the most common type of light source is the fluorescent bulb, more recently light emitting diodes, that is LED, is also used. Okay, so somewhat like this, you will see small trays which are holding your cultures. You are you need these setup, and you will incubate those on some racks or shelves or even in growth chambers. Okay, just you need to remember here that light is very important. Okay, so the LED light panel can be used, right? And say 12 to 18 hours or 26 hours light is must. Okay, the LED light panel consumes less power, generates less heat, and can be configured to deliver lights for specific wavelength. Okay, so that plants can be grown under light suitable for absorption by chlorophyll. Okay, so this is also a very important point that you need to consider while working with plants. Okay, so after some time, some days, some weeks, you will find the plants growing like this. Okay, so that is why you will see here the in second picture the medium is very less. Okay, there is more head space given. Okay, so that allows the plant to grow and flourish properly. Okay, so this is the last slide. Okay, so these are some applications. So many plants can be grown by this plant tissue culture technique. So considerable variation in growth, flower characteristics, disease resistance, yield, and resistance to environmental stress. Okay, the next is tissue culture allows large scale micropropagation applications to recover large numbers of plants with a comparable genotypes, right? Then large scale growth of plant cells in liquid culture in bioreactors for production of valuable compounds like plant derived secondary metabolites and recombinant proteins can be done, and it is used as a biopharmaceuticals. Okay, the next is the plant tissue culture can be used to produce clean plant material from stock infected by viruses or other pathogens. Okay, other applications of plant tissue culture include selection of variants, mutants, cryopreservation, dihaploid production, and rescue, and production of useful chemicals, for example, taxol, right? And last is to conserve rare and endangered plant species. Okay, that can be done by using plant tissue culture. Okay, so I had referred these two chapters. Okay, one is plant tissue culture for biotechnology, and second is general techniques for plant tissue culture. Okay, all the credits goes to these authors, right? And I found these articles very good for referring. Okay, and if you are new to plant tissue culture, then please go and read these articles. And if you want to write answers, you have some questions related to plant tissue culture in your theories, then even for that purpose you can go for these chapters or articles. Okay, so yeah, I am done here. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Like my videos, share my videos, and do subscribe to my channel. And please share these videos with your friends and recommend them to subscribe to my channel as well. Okay, I hope this information on plant tissue culture is useful to you all. Okay, if you need videos on some other topics, then do mention in comment box, or you can reach out to me on microbialconcepts@gmail.com. Thank you.